Welcome to the forest. I'm Papaschu, and tonight we are going to discuss the new faction, some of the Argonites. Specifically, we're going to go over the rares and the epics. So relax and enjoy. I'm going to do one of my alternate accounts because that's the one I have more Argonites on and can share them with you. So the Argonites. We have 17 new champs in the faction. We have the legendaries, which I haven't gotten any of yet. Got 4 epics, one Dexicos, Galatea, Thisbe, and Nagus. And we have 4 rares: Blade Rider, Pegasus, Slither, and Sentinel. On my Papaschu account, I had Thisbe, but for some reason, I must have used her as food. I don't know why. I am so ashamed. All right, well, let's get started on him. Dexicos. He's Tidemaster Dexicos. He's a support epic. And he's got the HP aura, gives 20% extra in battles, in all battles. He has a passive, so that is a safety of the waves at the start of this champion's turn. Places a shield buff for 1 turn on all allies whose HP is less than 100%. The value of the shield is equal to 15% of the receiving champion's max HP. That's a pretty good shield. His A3 is revives 2 random allies with 40% HP and 20% turn meter. Heals all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP. Will heal all allies even if no allies were revived. Some of them, the A3 the rest of it is conditional on whether that ally was revived or not. This one, he's just going to do it anyway, so you don't have to worry about not running it when your other champs are in need of healing. Places a perfect veil buff on all allies except this champion for 1 turn, and will place the buff even if no allies were revived again. And the A2, Tidemaster's Wrath, attacks all enemies, places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns, and its damage is based on attack instead of HP. And his A1 is Aqueous Bolt. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit heals the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of this champion's max HP. So you want to get him a lot of HP. His base stats is 21,000. And again, his damage is based on attack. So let's go check out what I have in here. Not sure where I have them. So I've got him in 2 sets. I've got the Merciless set, which gives up 10% attack, 15% crit damage, adds 5% speed, and a 30% chance to decrease a random skills cooldown by 1 turn when dealing damage. And also on the protection, we have the additional resistance and HP. His HP is now at 60,566. So that's a lot. And his crit damage is at 204. His crit rate is at 99%, which is good. And since he doesn't really have any debuffs, 124 on the accuracy doesn't really matter. Resistance, if I could get him a little higher without sacrificing anything else, that would be a good thing to do. The next, and we're going to go through this on the index. Because I don't have all of them, not on this one account. I have Galatea on one of my other alternate accounts. She is an attack champion with a passive. Before attacking, has a 25% chance of removing any decrease attack. Debuffs on this champion and replacing them with their mirror buff equivalent. In other words, increase attack. Also has a 25% chance of removing any increased defense buff on enemies and replacing them with their mirror debuff equivalent, which would be decrease defense. On the A3, Aspirant of the Osomi attacks all enemies, so it's an AoE, will ignore 15% of the target's defense if they are spirit affinity. So she's a spirit affinity, so anybody else with that affinity is going to be a 15% of the target's defense. Will ignore 25% of the target's defense if there are any other affinity. So if you're going against the same one, she's going to get less than if it was others. Activates the Apex Slice skill on a random enemy whose HP was decreased by more than 50% from this skill. Occurs once per skill. So that would be for this to be a really good skill. You want to make sure that the crit rate and crit damage are higher than 100%. Well, you want crit rate at 100%, and you want crit damage to be a little higher than 100, or anything higher than 100%. This way you'll get a better damage on it. And then the Apex Slice itself attacks one enemy, places a block revive debuff if the target is killed, and fills his champion's turn meter by 30%, and damages based on attack. And her default skill, the Pride Strike, attacks one enemy, places an extra hit if the target is under a decreased defense, and decreases the target's turn meter by 10% damage based on attack. All in all, a pretty good champion. You just want to make sure you load her up on the crit rate and crit damage, and always make sure the speed. She doesn't have any, as you see, she does have some debuffs, so you want to make sure that their accuracy is fairly decent. The next one is Thisbe. I have two of her on one of my alternates, and I ate the other one on my main, on Papaschu. Her passive. Now this is great. Not when I first started about 6 years ago, most of the epics did not have any passive skills. That's something they've been slowly adding over the years. So actually, she also has an aura. Increases ally accuracy in all battles by 40. Her passive is Heir of the Gorgoa. Allies deal 10% more damage to enemies under debuffs placed by this champion. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. So in other words, if you have two of her or more, this skill will not activate on duplicate copies of this champion if this particular champion is dead. So even if she's dead, any extras just won't work. On the A3, Heart of Flint decreases the duration of all ally debuffs by 1 turn, heals all allies by 15% of their max HP, and fills the turn meters of all allies by 20%. And of course, there's always, once you book them, you'll get extra healing and extra cooldowns. On the A2, Fangs of Quartz attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a Hex debuff and a Block Buffs debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, and then damages based on attack. Again, with the fully booked, you get you lose 2 cooldowns, so you're down to 3, and your buff and debuff chances increased by 25%. And then on the default, you have Eyes of Granite. Attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns, steals 10% of the target's turn meter, and damages based on attack. And she throws that decreased attack debuff. And since I have her here, we're going to take a look at her build real quick. And I've got her in a speed set and the feral set. So we're giving an extra 24% speed increase. Now, I've just recently geared her up, so I haven't had a chance to level everything up yet. And then we've got her up to the 40% accuracy, or 40 accuracy, 5% speed, another 40 accuracy, and then places a block debuffs buff on wear at the start of the round. For her stats, her HP is only at 29,000. Her attack is at 1573. Defense is 2151. Crit rate, like I said, I haven't set her up yet. Her speed is at 196. So right now she's at 44% and 79%. I think once I get these artifacts upgraded, everything will be much better. And you see I put a crit rate on the gloves with speed, double speed, and I've got accuracy with another additional speed, and then speed boots with accuracy. On the shield, made sure we have some extra speed. On the helmet, I've got extra accuracy and speed. And then on the weapon, additional crit damage and speed. Down here, we don't have a lot of accessories for Argonites yet, because we don't have any faction wars to get anything, to make anything. But what I do have on her now is a defensive ring with some attack. Again, a defensive amulet with accuracy and attack. And the banner has attack. And so that's hopefully giving her enough attack to go somewhere. All right, so the last one is Nagus, which I do not have on this account. She's the epic defense, and she's void. And she's got an aura for ally defense in all battles. Her passive is whenever an enemy attacks this champion, heals all allies by 10% of their max HP and fills their turn meter by 10%. Whenever an enemy attacks this champion, also places 30% increased speed buff on all allies for one turn. The A3 is attacks all enemies. It has an 80% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Also has a 40% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. And again, that cools down to 4 turns, which you have it fully booked. This one with fully booked goes down to 3 turns. That's the A2 title cleanse, removes all all debuffs from this champion and a single target ally. Places a 50% ally protection buff, a 25% strengthen buff, and a 50% increased attack buff on that target ally for 2 turns. Then fills the turn meters of this champion and the target ally by 15%. And in her A1, catching prey, attacks 1 enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn, and her damage is based on defense. On to the rares. I have 3 out of 4 rares on this account, so we're good. I can show you some of them. Slither I have on some of my other alts. He's actually a pretty good champion. All right, and Blade Rider is the first rare we're going to look at. Is attack champion. He's got an aura of ally attack and faction crypts. So if we ever get the crypts going, he might wind up being the lead probably. His A3, he has no passive. Is a 5-turn book down to a 3-turn cooldown. Attacks all enemies before attacking. Places a 25% increase attack buff. It's the weak one because he's a rare. And a 15% increased crit damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. Each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 5%. So it'd be a good idea to make sure you got him. If you're going to use him, not just use him as food, build him out with a lot of crit damage, and make sure he's got 100% crit rate. On his A2, he has attacked 1 enemy. Has a 50% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. Will attack all other enemies if this champion is under any increased attack buff, and I think you get that from here. And will not place stun debuffs against all other enemies. So he attacks 1 enemy. Then if he has the increased attack buff on himself, he'll attack the other enemies. And then on his A1, attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each critical hit will ignore 5% of the target's defense. Not very strong, but he is a rare. I think his main thing is going to be with the faction wars, at least up to a point until you start getting some of the legendaries. Pegasus, he's a HP. He's got increased HP in all battles. He's got a passive. Whenever this champion is attacked, has a 5% chance of decreasing all incoming damage to 0. That's 5%. Once you book, that goes up to another 20%, so it's 25% chance. He places a taunt on his A2 on this champion for 1 turn, and then also places a shield debuff or shield buff on all allies for 2 turns, equal to 15% of this champion's max HP. So again, this is a champion you want to give him some good HP. On his default, staggering strike, attacks 1 enemy. Has a 15% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn, and his damage is based on HP. And there's the stun. Okay. And then we have Slither. Slither is a support champion. He has a speed in dungeons by 16%. His A3 places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% with 3 turn cooldown when booked. On his A2, attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a 15% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, heals all allies by 15%, and damages based on attack. And that's decreased speed. Looks like it's the bigger one. The increased speed is the smaller one. On his default, he attacks 1 enemy 3 times, which can be useful. Each hit has a 35% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 5%. If the target is under a decreased speed debuff, each hit has a 35% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 10% instead, and damage is based on attack. All right, and the last one, we have Sunken Sentinel. He is a void rare. His aura is to increase attack in all battles by 15%. He's an attack champion and attacks 1 enemy, heals this champion by 20% of the damage inflicted, heals this champion by 30% instead if the target is under a decreased defense debuff. Destroys the target max HP by 20% of the damage inflicted, and destroys the target's max HP by 30% instead if the target is under a decreased defense. And there's the decreased defense. So you want to try to get his A2 before his A3. But if you do it on auto, it's going to do the A3 first. And this is for 2 turns, so might come around and get it, but I doubt it. Depends on the cooldown. See, this is on a 4-turn cooldown. And if you book him out, it's a 3-turn cooldown. So that's 1 turn, 2 turns. So let's go 1 turn, 2 turns. And this one won't be ready. So that'll be 3 turns. It'll be gone. A1 attacks 1 enemy. Places an extra hit if the target is under a decreased defense debuff. So yeah, you definitely want to go with the A2 first if you can. And take a look at him and the other ones in the champions. Argonites. So you see I've got two of him. One is dressed out in a defensive equipment. So I've got the shield. So it sets 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you get a 30% HP ally shield for 3 turns. And then I've got him an immortal set, so he can heal himself by 3% every turn. And gives him an additional 15% HP, which brings him to 21,000. Not bad for a rare. Defensive ring and HP amulet. And then on the second one, I geared him up a little bit more for doing damage. So he's got the accuracy addition plus 40%, perception, and his speed plus 5%. A little bit of protection with his resistance and a little bit more HP. His feral, I've got accuracy. I always want to call it accessory. Because I don't know if cars, older cars used to have on the key, when you turn it one backward, it would be on accessory. And that's how they indicated it, ACC. And we got some speed boots, accuracy on the chest, crit rate, defense, HP. So you see, I'm building him out a little bit more for attack, while the other one is a little bit more for defensive. This guy here, Blade Rider, I don't have him geared out yet. Let's see what the automatic say. Well, I've already got him on one. Here we go. So at level 50, the only ones I've got at level 60 are these two. So at level 50, got him in some stone skin, which only gives him the HP, plus crit rate, 12%. And then on the feral, plus 40 accuracy, 24,000. Just not geared greatly. Just trying to get what I can out of them. And on Crimson Pegasus, again, I've got the speed, accuracy, crit rate, and set. Not really anything there, just accuracy. Trying to get him a good basic setup. On Thisbe, I've already gone over her kit. And on Tidemaster, I've got his, already went over his. So let's see what they can do a little bit. And we're going to take a look. First, let's go to some campaigns. We'll see what we can do on Brutal. Let's try Palace of Arabia. And see how they do against we can build a team against the boss here. So what kind of lead do we want? Well, we don't have any speed lead. So I'm going to go see. We have that one's accuracy or HP. I think I'm going to stick with HP. But I want a healer. Yeah, she's a healer, right? Support. Heals. So we're gonna put her in the second spot. And then let's see. HP, but I don't think he heals or revives. So he's okay there. And then let's see. I think I'm going to go with this one with the shields. And let's see what they can do. We're just going to run it on auto and turn that speed up a little bit. Well, actually, let's not do it on auto. All right, so the first thing, revives 2 random allies. If no allies, we'll heal. So we don't need that. So let's try this one. Attacks all enemy and places a increased defense on allies. So let's get see what we can do here. Boom. That's actually a pretty good attack. All right, we don't have that anymore, so we'll try that. Again, a pretty good attack. Now, Thisbe. Decrease the duration of all debuffs. So nobody has a debuff on them. We don't need that. Nobody needs healing, so let's put the debuff on them. And let's see, his is a taunt and places the shield. So he's got a shield already. But we're going to put it on. Again, this one, he heals. This champion doesn't need it. So we're just going to go with his A2. Try to take that one out. Took everybody else out. Back to him. Let's save his A2 for the boss. All right, and we're going to hit his A2. Pretty powerful. Took her down about halfway. Thisbe goes. Still nobody needing healing. So that's pretty good on the, I believe that was brutal. Not too bad. Let's take them over to Dragon's Lair. I think I'm not going to try 25. Let's see a little bit easier one. Stage 13, that's pretty middle of the road. Okay, and actually, we're going to go, let's see, what's his aura? Accuracy in all battles by 40%. We're going to do that, and I'm going to put him second. Put him as third. I like him as fourth. And yeah, same team. A little bit different order. Let's see here. All right. And again, he's going to lead. He's the fastest guy. So we're going to go there. Not as strong here. Taunt and a shield. Can only put it on him. All right. What do we got here? Attack. Attack of the clones. Not too bad of a hit. I think once he's all geared up and all his gears leveled up, shouldn't be too bad. And remember, these guys, he's only level 50. Only these two are level 60. And let's take him out. All right, second round. See how much damage he can do this time. Not too bad. About halfway. Not a lot of damage going on there. All right, let's see what kind of damage he can do to this guy. Not a lot. I think need to work on her. I think I should have taken this guy out first. Now, does anybody need healing? So we can down finally. So we get these guys the rest of the way. Just not enough. All right, time for the dragon. And everybody's got their defaults. All we got. Nobody needs healing. That's the cooldown. I doubt we're going to get a stun on him. This is what we can do, what that does. He got a little bit of the max HP. Not a lot. Maybe if he's level 60, he'll do it. Nobody needs healing, but let's see what the perfect veil, because that can help reduce damage. And they're going to take some damage. Some shields, everybody. Well, at least the debuffs are hitting. And no damage taken. So all in all, I'd say that's a pretty decent team. Not great on the damage part. Anybody need healing? Yeah, there's debuffs, so let's do that. Clears up the debuffs for most part. Again, we're perfect veil. And I'm going to go ahead and let it run on auto for the rest. Let's see what happens. And like you guys remember, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and don't forget to hit the bell to get notifications when uh, new video comes out and when I'm going live. I really would like you guys to start joining me on the live shows. I don't mind chatting with you, asking questions, and hopefully getting some answers. I hope you're enjoying these videos. I know there's a lot of other raid content creators out there, but not too many of them do a live show. Looks like they're doing pretty good. I think the Argonites are going to be a good faction. Now, it'd be nice if I could get a legendary. All right, not bad, not bad. This was stage 13. I don't think they would be able to do anything very well on stage 25, but not bad at all. I don't think I'd want to try them on Iron Twins. Of course, I still haven't on most of them. I don't believe I've done any of their. I don't think there's any in there, but just to check. I don't think I have too many of their masteries filled out. So masteries is something I'm going to have to work on for them. Yeah, the only one with any masteries is Dexicos. And I'm not going to really try to bore you with masteries. Let's see how we can do with some arena teams. See if I can find an arena team to go against. One that's not going to one-shot me. Oh, there you go. I guess I missed it. Okay, and let's do the same thing, same team. And we're not going to be on auto because I want to see how their attacks do. This will probably be a one shot right here. Yeah, almost. She could probably take it out, hopefully. With that? Yeah, not bad. Any other teams I could do that won't one-shot me? Arbiter. Well, let's try. Let's see how we do against her. Cold Heart. Cold Heart. Level 60. Ouch. Got a shield on everybody. Give them a little bit of healing. That's kind of confusing. Who's she going to go for? One with the taunt or one of the ones that don't have perfect veil? All of them. Yeah, all right. Got to win. So they can do. Yeah, that was in what was it, Gold 5? Probably the Arbiter here might just one shot me. See if we can bring down an Arbiter. Oh! Well, took away the. Interesting. What do I want to do here? We don't have any debuffs to worry about. And so far, don't need any healing, so we'll just do that one. Get the shield going here. Get the buff. Nobody needs reviving, but somebody does need healing. I have a feeling there's not a chance they're going to get a stun. Oh, well, it was there for a second. Yeah, so stun hit. Anybody need healing yet? No, nope, nope. Ooh, taking him out. She's going for it. And I can't heal him. Let's see what this text money. Each hit heals an ally, the lowest HP by 5%. 1, 2. There you go. Some healing. Some additional healing there. All right, now we get to see if he revives. Revive is on cooldown still. All right, now we can revive him. And that's a pretty good HP fill. Let's see. She is void. He is blue. Shouldn't be getting any weak hits. I think it's gonna they're gonna do it. Voids and epics and rares against a pretty high HP Arbiter. Oh, he's gonna go down again. Should have left that heel alone. Didn't take that time. Get the shield on. And the taunt. I think once I get all the everybody here leveled up, all their artifacts in the mastery's done. These Argonites will be a really good faction. Do any of you guys have any of the Argonites yet? Which ones do you have? Do you have any of the legendaries? Did you get that one from the fusion? I just couldn't get the fusion done. It was right after another event that left me where I couldn't get that fusion. All right, there you have it. They can take down Arbiter for 2 rares and 2 epics. Not even fully built out. I don't think there's anything else for them to do. To cover on that today. Like we go to the index, and you see there's no there's no commons or uncommons yet. Don't know if Raid is going to bring them out later or not. Their epics are good. She's pretty good. The Galatea. I'd like to show you Galatea, but right now I forget which alternate I have her on. Yeah, Cassandra. So if you got Cassandra, she's probably a really good champ to have with that speed aura in all battles. Attacks enemy, increases this champion's attack by an amount equal to 50% of the target's defense. Whenever an enemy attacks this champion, increases this champion's defense by an equal amount of the attacker's 50% attacker's ATK. She got 2 passives. Whenever an enemy's HP drops below 25% after receiving damage from any assassin. So she's one of the assassin creeds. They receive additional bonus damage proportional to this champion's attack. This bonus damage will ignore 100% of the target's defense and cannot be critical. I wish I had her, because I have, I would like to try it with the default one. Ezio. I don't think I have any other assassins. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't. Ezio is the only one I got, and he's pretty good. I use him most of the time in my arena, live arena battles. All right, folks. It's been almost an hour. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. And again, hit the bell so you can get notifications. This is Papaschu from the forest. Peace out.